Good afternoon, this is Pat Walker in Mission Winners. Had a great trip, just so everybody knew we were out of town. We're up in the mountains. Great time, great hiking, did a lot of great stuff. We were near snow, got caught in a hailstorm, which was really festive, a lot of fun, and it's good to get away. Here's a good quote for everybody. It's a great thought. The reason we travel is not to see different things, but to see things differently. Sometimes it's a good thing to do. And travel does not mean that you have to go 1,000 miles. It can just be going for a good walk sometimes. Just get away from it. So anyway, we're back. Let's go in here and see what happens. Markets were choppy last week. There was a trend and then it kind of got ugly. And one of the best tactics, and we all know it, we utilize it at Mission Winners. Buy right, higher low setup, a pullback setup, or a clean and simple base breakout, and sell some into strength. It really makes a difference. Does something very important. It guarantees profits because you're not going to let a good profit turn into a loss. So by selling some into strength, if the rest comes down to your buy price, you can sell the rest for break even so that no matter what happens, you make money. Focus on clean and simple entries. That's how money is made. Why clean and simple? Because everybody sees it. If everybody sees it, does it not increase the potential that they will buy also? Yes, it does. And isn't that what we want? So here we go. BBH ran up. Biotech still chopping around. It's below the 200-day. Not a lot of leadership there. You got to be kind of careful with that, okay? Cloud computing, really lagging here, folks. I mean, it had a decent lift here off this bottom, but it's below the 200-day. I'll tighten this up a bit so you can get some more of the chart action. How's that? There we go. We'll start there. By the way, yellow line's the 80 EMA, blue line's the 21 EMA, green line's the 50-day simple, and the purple line is the 200-day. Way below the 200-day. Be careful with that. Autonomous driven vehicles, you know, there's not a lot of leadership there. What caused this? Tesla was a part of it. There you go. Nothing really special. Dow Jones Internet. What does this tell you? Be careful with internet stocks. Continue onwards. The IBD 50 really lagging. The IBD 50 is a good proxy of strength in the market. And as you can see, this baby didn't even get over the falling 21-day moving average. There's no power there. That alone is telling you, be cautious in the markets. The next one, gold miners lagging. Look at this. Below all the moving averages, stay away from gold miners. Gold, tarnished. I had to do that, dead humor for you. Biotechnology, it had some of a kind of a lift. There's not a lot of power there. It's below the falling 200-day, just like BBH. Online retail ran up, not a lot of power. By the way, please know this. I'm not being negative. No. It's important to maintain a positive mental attitude. Part of it is just accepting what is happening. And this is what's great. We analyze and accept what's happening now. We pull back a little bit in our activities. And then when things get good, we can hit it and hit it hard with no psychological or physical baggage dogging us. That's huge, folks. That's very important. Something to remember. Protect emotional capital. Online retail, oil and gas, I'm sorry. Nothing really special there. Be careful with that. iShares, this is your tech. It's acting a little better, but not that great. So what do you do with all this? Medicine picked up a little bit. Had a decent day here, still below the 200-day, but had a decent day, pulled back a little bit. You have to ask yourself, would you see this chart pattern in any book saying, this is what you'd look for? This is what you want to buy? Maybe a little, but not too much. It's not that great of a setup. Mid cap, some lift. Higher low setup, basically. Lifted a little bit. Still in a major downtrend. It'd be nice if it base and start to lift again. Not a lot of power there. U.S. home construction picked up a little bit with some volume, and that's a plus to see. Remember, we've got some big economic reports coming this week too that can have an impact on the markets and interest rates. Be aware of that. Don't ignore that. S&P 500 growth here ran up a little bit, but this isn't a real leadership pattern either. Okay. Small cap, some growth, but not a lot of power there. Continue onward. Jets, airlines. They're not flying. Okay, sorry, I had to say it. Boy, I haven't lost any of that sense of humor while I was up in that high altitude, huh? Regional banking lagging, be careful with it. Mid cap, some growth, some lift, but not that much power. All right, oil services, we had been really strong back here when we were involved with it. Look at this. This is power. Right now, there's not a lot of power there, is there? Oh, so be cautious with this. Next one, oil, lagging, be cautious, stay away. Online retail, lagging, be careful with that. Infrastructure was really strong before, earlier in the year, but now it's lagging. I'd be cautious with that. Pharmaceuticals lagging, be cautious with that. This is the inverse ETF, QID. This goes up when the market's falling. It's an inverse, does the opposite. And it's, just kind of chopping around, nothing great here. Here's QLD, started to lift a little bit. I want to point this out to you. This was a higher low. This low was higher than this low, and it lifted. It wasn't a huge move, but it was actionable. Then it falls, rises, and then it falls, and then it starts to lift again. This low is higher than this low. This is a higher low setup. It's actionable. Do you go big on something like this? No, you control risk. You accept what kind of pattern it is, and when it's riskier, how do you control risk? You buy less shares, and you're quicker to sell some into strength. That's how you can make money, and it works. It works really well, as a matter of fact. I've been doing it since the last century. Here we go, QQQ, same thing as QLD. Continue onwards. Online retail, or excuse me, just retail in general. Lifting, not a lot of power. Overall, be careful. Next one, this is the inverse, just like QID. Chopping around a little bit, not a great setup. Cloud computing, lagging, just like CLOU. There's not a lot of power there, team. Be careful with that. Silver, lagging, or could we say tarnished? Steel, buying it will test your metal. Okay, be cautious with that. SMH, semiconductors. When semiconductors move, it's great. Not a lot of power there. Be cautious. Spiders, lifted up. This had the higher low from this low here, but not a lot of power here. What do you do with something like this? If you're involved with them or the S&P 500 stocks, err to the side of caution. There's a time to really push it, and there's a time not to. And successful investors accept that and know how to push it and when to push it. There's SSO, same thing as the spiders. Solar, that needs to get through the 200-day. Small cap, not a lot of power there. Uranium, nothing. Oil, nothing. Aerospace and defense, not a lot of power there. Be careful with it. Biotechnology started to lift here, right? Goes up, you sell some into strength, starts to fall, you sell a little bit more. No matter what happens, if this starts to fall and lose the 21-day, you sell the rest for a profit, and given that you sold other shares up higher into strength, you make money. There you go. I wouldn't buy it here, all right? Most of these I wouldn't buy at this point in time. Here's the next one for you. Home builders picking up a little bit. That's good to see. It would be nice to see home builders picking up. We'll watch and see what happens. Continue onwards. Materials, there's not a lot of power there. And it would be nice to see, if home builders are picking up, you would like to see materials picking up. Because what? You need materials, true, to buy or to build houses. Not a lot of power there. Energy really lagging. Was really good to us back in here, though. We had a nice move, but right now it's telling us to stay away from it. The next one, I've got a bad data point because I was gone and I've just corrected it on each one. Financials lagging, nothing to do with it. Be cautious with it. Industrials lagging, be cautious with it. Technology's picking up a little bit, but not a lot of power there. Be cautious with it. We're about done. Consumer staples, yeah, it needs to get through the 200-day. That would be nice to see. Utilities, there's not much of a move right there. Be cautious. Healthcare going sideways, needs to get through the 200-day, which is the purple line. And until it does, be cautious. Consumer discretionary, it's lifting, but not a lot of power. You got to be cautious with that. Metals and mining really lagging. Look at this. There you go. You just leave it alone. Don't argue with it, and that helps us. Energy. Don't own any energy stocks. It's that simple. Why? Retail's picking up a little bit, but not a lot of power. Be cautious with that. Software, that's lagging. Be cautious with software. Then we go to the MAXLIST. Apple started to lift. Some people bought it, trends up, sell some into strength. What's the foundation now? You will not let a good profit turn, or a profit. It's not a good profit, but it's a profit. Amazon, similar situation. This was a higher low setup right here. And it lifted. You sell some of the strength, starts to fall, start the rest. Does this, you get an inside bar. Do you see that inside bar? I'm going to give everybody here a great lesson. Goes up on good volume, right? And I'll make this bigger for you. See that? The joys of modern technology. Gaps down, reverses. Like, oh, that's not bad. Then you get a quiet inside bar. It's like, gosh, I guess if it takes out the highs of these bars, that would be good. And it does. And what do? And look at the volume pickup. If you're in it, you're good. Goes in here. You sell some into strength on this. And we'll make sure we're correct with it. You lock some in. You've made money. No matter what happens, you're going to make money because you already have. That's what we love. And we love the higher low setups. Love them. Okay? I'm going to show you a couple more too. You can't get away that easy. Here we go. Alibaba's just kind of chopping around here. There's nothing really special with it, okay? So same thing's true with BIDU. Just chopping around, nothing really special with it. Google. This is chopping around too. I'll tighten this up a bit so it's a little easier to see. It's just chopping around right in here. By the way, do you see this low right here? This low was higher than this low. It gapped down, fell, reversed, takes out the open, and you get a lift. And you buy some. And that's good for 10 plus Y. Easy, easy. But right now it's chopping around, nothing to do with it. Microsoft, just chopping around. Yeah, just be cautious. Overall, I have to share this with everybody. Still err to the side of caution here, all right? Focus on clean and simple entries. It will help you make better money. And always control risk. Netflix started a lift in here, and some people may have bought it. Like I said, I was in the mountains. I'm not sure. But if you did, what do? You sell some into strength. And focus primarily on the daily charts, hourly, 30-minute. NVDA, higher low setup. This low is higher than this low. And it worked. That is a MAXLIST setup that makes us money. And we love it. It works. You sell some into strength, starts to fall. You can sell a little bit more. Here's the beautiful thing. If it keeps falling, you sell the rest. You will not let a good profit turn into a loss. That's how you manage it. Tesla, higher low setup. This low was higher than this low. And it lifts up and we locked in some great profits. Falls again, chops around, starts to pick up, chops around a little bit, starts to lift. Higher low setup. You buy some, you sell some into strength, you make money. Focus on the daily charts, the hourly and the 30-minute. Now, notice this. It gaps up, runs up, reverses down. What do you do on something like this when it starts to do that? You sell more and lock in more profits. That simple. Guaranteed profits. And at Admission Winners, we talk a lot about that. Twitter's just basing here. And we know there was news on it, okay? Potential takeovers, and then it chopped and got hit pretty hard here. It's just chopping around right now. What's it need to do? Well, you've got some lines right here, and I'll draw it for you. Right there. Just needs to take out these lines. And does it need to do it on volume? Yes, it needs to do it on volume.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.